What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Visual Verse. It is your host, Ayande Joseph, and today we are talking about Captain America Brave New World. Marvel has been on a hiatus ever since Deadpool and Wolverine released this summer, and they've really been cooking something up. Now, was this product what we all wanted? Probably not, but I do think that it was a very enjoyable movie. This movie has made 100 million on its first weekend, although it did open to a bunch of mediocre reviews. In this video, I will give my thoughts on this movie and if I think it is worth your time watching it. Without further ado, let's get straight into the story and the plot. I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. Taking a big look at the plot, it is built upon the Celestial being born in the middle of the Earth. This is a previous plotline that was introduced in the Eternals MCU movie. I feel like this being the central theme of the entire movie was really interesting. The only problem is that this has been around for the last couple of years of the MCU, and yet they've kind of skirted around it, and it seemed kind of too perfect just to pop out now as a big problem. But yet, I feel like it was a really cool theme to tie it into the modern MCU era. However, I feel like the development execution of the small things did feel really disjointed at times, and the storyline lacked depth here and there, with certain characters kind of popping up and disappearing with no good explanation. There wasn't always logical concepts and logical transfers of ideas from what happens in scene 1 to what happens in scene 10, and even from scene 2 to scene 3, there were certain things that just didn't make sense. Moving on to the characters and acting, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I feel like Anthony Mackie did an excellent job. He definitely is so deserving of this movie. He's been the side character in Marvel for so long, so we really have to give him his flowers. I think that Harrison Ford, he is 82 and it is starting to show a little bit. I think that fragility of a person really played well into the old president vibe and him having to compensate for something, but there were moments where Ford looked weak and, not himself, not that Harrison Han Solo, Indiana Jones that we're used to seeing. The supporting cast honestly also was a letdown. The two other main characters in the movie, the one Songbird, whoever the woman's name is, that's the Israeli, special forces person. I don't really know how I felt about her. She was cool. I feel like they were just kind of throwing her in for a diversity hire and to try to introduce, other characters and diversify the cast, truly. As far as the other character, I don't even know his name, the Falcon guy. He seemed a little cheesy at times. Nothing against the actor. I think he's probably a brilliant actor in his own right. I just don't think that the writers gave him the best lines to really make people fall in love with him. He did have a couple good lines, like where he was messing around with Isaiah Bradley towards the beginning of the movie. But other than that, it really was hit or miss and nothing too engaging. Taking a look at the cinematography, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I feel like there were a good majority of action scenes that I really was invested in. I mean, this is one of the most interesting characters. He can fly and he has Captain America's shield. This is a whole new dimension than what the Chris Evans Captain America had that he brought to the scene. I feel like they did an amazing job of really incorporating the flying aspect as well as the shield aspect. They really could give him a larger breadth of activities to do while he is flying around, and it felt like that. It felt like he had more mobility and he was just more of a superhero in that flying around regard. But beyond that, I felt like definitely certain scenes suffered from poor CGI. Like there was one part towards the end of the movie, you could clearly tell that they had to reshoot it since it just was like green screen around Anthony Mackie. It was really poor quality. I'm confused how Kevin Feige signed off on this, but that is what it is. Taking a look at the soundtrack, I feel like it definitely was a 6 out of 10. As someone who always listens to the music during these movies, I always look out for 1 or 2 songs that really just pop off because I feel like that's what Marvel is known for. I mean, there's the iconic Captain America theme song, which I guess is more Steve Rogers, and I just wasn't getting anything strong from the Falcon, who is now Captain America. I feel like they did Anthony Mackie a disservice by not giving him a stronger theatrical sound that really incorporated maybe some African American blues and jazz to a more modern hip hop or something. Just, put a little bit of culture in there, but I didn't really feel that. And I feel like that was a very noticeable absence from this movie. And lastly, rewatchability, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Yes, I will definitely rewatch this movie when I'm doing my annual Marvel movie marathon. But other than that, I don't think that I will be picking up this movie or going back to the theater like I did for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I saw that movie 4 times in the first month that it released, and this was by far nowhere near that. In conclusion, is this movie worth seeing? I think yes. If you are a longtime Marvel fan, you will enjoy the different callbacks they have, as well as the infusion of new characters, but you will miss that Marvel movie magic that has seemed to totally seep out of Marvel movies in the past, except Deadpool and Wolverine that totally capitalized on the Marvel movie magic. I think that this movie definitely was missing something. It just seemed like they had it, but then they kind of dropped it along the way. I do think that Anthony Mackie did a great job. Harrison Ford did a great job. At the end of the day, this is just Marvel, what we're used to. It's the new standard, the new quality that we've had to accept. Hopefully, you know, with Battleworld coming up, Secret Wars, Doomsday, they really can just pull it back together. I heard they're getting Chris Evans back, something like that. Like, I think that there is a return to form in the works, but if you are a Marvel fan, definitely watch this. I don't think that it's trash. It definitely was entertaining to me, but I will not be watching it again anytime soon. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I will see you next time.